We're here on episode 71 of the Morning Joint podcast. I am your host, JayPing. We've got two very special guests today. We've got Damian Solomon of King Solomon Nutrients and Keegan Leary of True Infusion and Nature's Wonder out of Arizona. Appreciate you guys being here today. Good morning.
Hey,
good morning.
Happy to be here this morning.
Thank you guys, man. I appreciate you all for joining. It's an honor to have you guys. We're here this week on a very special episode, which is why we have these guys here today, y'all. We've got the Arizona cannabis industry popping off. This is why we've got Keegan here. We've got Damian here. We've got a couple events going on this week. The first one being MITA Arizona. And I haven't been there in the last few weeks. I know, Damian, you've been there the last couple months. MITA is a huge marijuana industry trade association event, and they take over a big hotel. And Damian, you've been a vendor at it and a partner and a sponsor the last few months. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we can expect to see and what's going to be going on this Wednesday?
Yeah, no, it's like you said, it's been a couple of months since I've been going there. So they hold this event monthly, last Wednesday of every month. It's at a hotel in Scottsdale, and it's really just like a big hotel takeover. It really blew me away because living in California and going to some of these smoke sessions and things like that, and industry and networking events around Los Angeles, it really opened my eyes to how the marijuana industry is evolving in other states, and so it kind of really impressed me in the level of professionalism that they had, but at the same time, it was really grounded to the consumer, and it was really grounded to the industry, kind of boots on the ground and getting everybody together. There's a lot of bud tenders that are there. There's a lot of cultivation technicians that are there. So it's really a great kind of boots on the ground industry networking event. And I'll tell you what, I would say that the smoke out sessions rival anything that you'd see in LA. So that's what really impressed me about it. And I knew I wanted to be a part of it.
Ooh, that makes me excited to hear, man. Come on, man. The King Solomon's giving Arizona that kind of credit.
Hey, well, I was born and raised there, baby. U of A Wildcats.
Let's go.
Go Cats. Yes.
Now, Keegan, you obviously you're out there in the area. You guys are retail. You guys are manufacturing. You guys have products. Probably House of Brands, the whole nine, right? And when you first started getting, hearing about MITA or even attending it, as somebody who's out there and you've been around to other events before, what were your initial thoughts? Did you anticipate that it was going to be and grow to what it is today?
Initially when I first went, probably at the end of last year, we were at a different location. We weren't at the Saunders. We were in actually downtown Phoenix. And when I initially went there, looking to mingle, trying to see, who's there, trying to, obviously just connect with other people in the industry, see how they're doing. And over the past few months, transitioned over into, Old Town Scottsdale at a larger size event. So just right off the bat, having a larger venue, you already know that means that there's more people, there's more room for more vendors, more booths, more people in the industry to come in and join in. And honestly, it's been fantastic. I've noticed more people at every event, except for now it's the summer. It's very hot in Arizona. There is a little bit less people last month and most likely this month just due to the heat. But I see August, September, October slowly picking up as people are coming back from, for school and, more people jump in the industry. But yeah,
that heat out there, it really plays just like similar to California when the rain or the cold, the 70-degree cold comes in. That weather really can impact both like foot traffic to an event and also, probably to retail as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Since we are a recreational place, anybody that comes into our state that's 21 years age of older can go into the retail at any point, show a valid ID, and obtain products, whether it's edibles, flowers, or concentrates. Yeah,
that's crazy. It does make sense. if I still lived in Texas and a hurricane was hitting, I'm probably not going to the grocery store or going to go buy weed. I'm sure my dealer isn't going to come hook me up if the streets are flooded or if it's a million degrees, right? It's just pretty common. Now, when it comes to what you have going on there in AZ, True Infusion, Nature's Wonder, can you give a I know the cannabis world out there, but I know a lot of the industry has no clue who the brands are out there, the names of the retail stores. Can you highlight kind of who you are and what you do and what those two companies, what their role is out there in Arizona?
Yeah, definitely. So Nature's Wonder is a dispensary. They have, multiple licenses. They have multiple grow facilities on a Phoenix location area. We've got two retails, one in Apache Junction, which is East Valley, a lot less populated. And we have one as well, pretty close to the cultivation site in downtown Phoenix. And it originated with Nature's Wonders brand is True Infusion. So it really originated with strictly just edibles, just only edibles, infusing edibles. And that obviously developed into, bringing flower, concentrate, extraction labs, et cetera, to to the market. We've opened up two new facilities over the past year and a half since I started working there. And, things have expanded incredibly. I think we're one of the largest indoor grow facilities in all of Arizona.
Wow.
And, we're producing somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds of flower every single month. Give or take. Obviously, some goes to edible, some goes strictly to bulk sales.
And what's your background before this, and then now what is your role currently?
Before this, I started in cannabis in 2015 after I graduated from ASU with a horticulture degree.
Oh, wow.
And basically just been cultivation manager for several years. And currently my role at True Infusion is I'm responsible for some crop steering of 22 out of the 42 rooms of flower that we currently have at one facility. So, I spend most of my day looking at aroyagraphs and just basically looking at data and adjusting environments and irrigation for the 9 weeks of flower for those rooms. So when they get loaded, when we're getting them into generative stacking, into bulking phases, into ripening, and to harvest. And I basically just sit on my computer and go to these rooms throughout the day and make adjustments based on environments and the needs of the plants at that time.
That's super interesting. And one of the key words that, well, there's two key things that I really focus on. The first one is the crop steering. I want to dive in more of that, and I want to talk to Damian and you both for that aspect. And then the other element of it is all this data. Now, anybody that knows me on LinkedIn know that I'm a marketer and I'm data driven, and I love all that. I find that all these key points of whatever you deem as a key point of interest throughout this process, right? Those key variables, I find that stuff really does paint a fuller picture when you look at the end result. It's like you can kind of reverse engineer the process to some extent by these end results. And that's where, from a crop steering perspective, and I know you have a horticultural background there. Shout out to you guys there with the Arizona schooling, man. And people only know AZ for partying and for basketball, right? And now we got cannabis coming in hot. So shout out you guys changing the perspective. But walk me through this crop steering, because I've been in over 75 grows across the country. Now, that's not Damian numbers, but I've never, not a single time have I heard a cultivation person use that word. And I want to know what separates you to use that word and why these other ones, because if I'm going to be real, I'm a college educated individual. I know Damian is, but I know a lot of people claim their cannabis experience as their education. And I think there's a big difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously Damian has a significant amount more years in cultivation, and I hope to get there at some point. This is my 9th year, and, in the beginning, there was no such thing as crop steering or data that would support that, when I first started, or I wasn't provided the tools to utilize it. And, at this facility, at such a large scale, we need this data. You know, we grow 100, 125 different varieties, and to understand those varieties and their needs in different environments and different irrigation, we need data to hold that and look back, like you said, and oh, hey, this is our end result. Let's backtrack this and see exactly what this plant has gone through from the day it showed up in this flower room to bulking to ripening to harvest. You know, was the environment favorable? Did we have any HVAC or dehumidification issues? Did we have problems with the fertigation room with you know, making sure the ECs and the pHs were in correct balances before we fed these plants? You know, there's so much.
Each step has its own series of steps, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's, you know, I've only been doing the crop steering for a year and a half, so you know, I'm still learning a tremendous amount of things. And honestly, I'm just excited to use this data and to create, you know, templates in a sense of, you know, like I expect this result every time I bring this type of strain into this exact room. I can almost guarantee you it will look the same, you know, unless something catastrophic happens, which, you know, it usually does in the cannabis industry at some point in the cultivation, you know.
There's all these different variables. It's moving all the time. It is because of the we'll call it these elements, the variables, the technology being involved adds in a whole different layer of risk. I see you shaking your head, Damian. How many facilities have you been in where, or how many as a consultant, or you've over the years, you walk into a facility, someone's got a problem or someone calls you and you just are like, yo, just check this real quick. It's probably not working properly, right? The classic and then it just flickers on and turns on, you know, like situation like in the movies. You know, Damian, the data points, the nutrient regimen, all these things. Walk us through what and obviously maybe not every. Don't walk us into all the nitty gritty details of like what their facility was like and the dramas and the problems before. But what is King Solomon Nutrients' role in this true infusion cultivation, nature's wonder, all these different things? What is your role with all this? How are we all connected here between you and Keegan in Arizona?
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, right off the bat, just King Solomon's mission is to try or King Solomon's mission is to bring a much lower cost nutritional solution to marijuana producers anywhere, right? And so our goal is to help bring consistency and repeatability within the results. And through that, the customers are going to become more successful, right? So when you look at controlled environment agriculture, or you look at indoor growing systems, you have a lot of inputs, right? We talked about crop steering. So crop steering means how do you use those inputs, which is temperature, humidity, CO2 levels, light levels, the different labor tasks that you do on the crop, anything to impart a stress on the plant. And then through using tweaking each of those levels, you're able to then force the plant to put its energy where you want it. So during the vegetative phase, you want to put the energy towards producing stems and leaves and roots, right? Because that's the target. And then once you get into the generative,
then you have to create like a regimen for that part of that that section.
And so King Solomon, we have a veg product that just supports veg. So the nutritional balance of all of the elements or the fertilizer elements are geared towards or enhance vegetative growth. So we're looking to promote the growth of stems and leaves. And then when we switch to flowering stage or the generative stage, then we change the recipe a little bit to help support the plant during that time. But it's still in an easy to use package for the operator. So whenever we look at we talk about costs and inputs and efficiencies, right? So one of the biggest challenges that I see across all, or I'd say most operations, doesn't matter where they're at across the world, is that they struggle to have consistent and repeatable results, right? And so by being able to control your inputs using data, we used that word earlier, talked about data, by knowing and understanding what your system is going through, you know how to tweak it to get to your end result. So by using the data that you're given by your environmental computer, then you're able to make better decisions based on where you want the plant to go and where it is now, and then using inputs to help you get there, right? And so the fertilizer is just one of those inputs. But as you can imagine, you want to start with quality. So it's always quality in, quality out. So you need to have good quality equipment. You need to have good quality nutrients. You have to have
Water.
Yeah, good quality water, everything, right? And so
I hear LA has terrible water. That's why I make that comment.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at. Yeah. Although some people say in LA that the water is what makes the beer taste good. So there you go. So but you know, so our mission is just really to help growers grow better weed and have better tools to do it in, and to do it in a much more efficient and optimized way.
Man, you guys are getting hit with the game today. Episode 71 of the Morning Joy podcast, man. We coming at you guys hot and heavy in 7 a.m., man. I hope you all are enjoying yourself. For those of you guys on YouTube, LinkedIn, make sure you guys talk that shit, like, follow, subscribe. Please go check out True Infusion, TRU Infusion, and then also make sure you guys search King Solomon Nutrients. Definitely want you guys to go support these two homies. We've got MITA coming up this Wednesday. We've got the Scottsdale Buyers Club. Damian, you're working with us on the Scottsdale Buyers Club. We've got a mansion. We've got good drinks, food. We've got infused edibles. Obviously infused edibles. I was gonna say infused drinks, some really tasty edibles coming, and then I hear Shango's dropping some flour off. It's gonna be a fun trip, man. What are you looking forward to in your next visit this week to AZ?
Well, you know, it's I'm pretty stoked at the Scottsdale Buyers Club. I think it's anytime, and even also MITA. I mean, anytime we can bring industry people together to help push the industry forward, to get that exposure is a good thing, right? Because cannabis can be an important part of anybody's life. It doesn't have to be recreational. We're not talking about going and getting zonked out, right? We're talking about being able to utilize a product that helps people function throughout their day. And so anytime we can bring people together on the same mission to accomplish that, that's great. And actually, you know, I started doing some side projects with Keegan and his other group, kind of a passion project called the Marijuana Playbook. And so they're actually through the Marijuana Playbook, we're actually having they're part of my booth both at MITA, and they're part of the booth at Scottsdale Buyers Club. So you're gonna see our face around a lot. But basically, what we do is we talked earlier about kind of empower people and giving people more education and more tools. We're really geared towards, and I'll let Keegan speak to a little bit more, but you know, we're really trying to bring tools and resources to home growers so that as they begin their journey of learning how to grow weed, or maybe they're an experienced home grower, but they want to elevate their game, to be able to have a resource that they can then use to help them, you know, reach better results at home as well. So we're spreading the love, both domestically and commercially. I guess you can say domestically, but anyway, commercially to everybody who wants to learn how to grow weed and learn how to grow great weed.
So the different things that MITA brings together. Scottsdale Buyers Club with the buyers element. You mentioned all these different types of people that MITA unites, from the bud tenders to the industries to these owners, all these different crazy like walks of the industry. Keegan, are we going to see you at MITA? We're going to see you at Scottsdale Buyers Club?
Yeah, definitely. I work Wednesday, and I usually leave work an hour early to bring the tent, to bring the light, to bring the plants, to bring the setup to MITA, get set up with my other few homies and partners. And I usually meet Damian and his nephew Desmond, and we rock MITA every last Wednesday of every month, and we
That's
come
sick.
up. We smile all day. We go burn one. We go do some dabs on, you know, in the back patio. We talk to a couple hundred people, hopefully, you know, get some people interested in cultivating at home and, you know, using easy tools and, you know, simplistic nutrients to bring positive and great results.
When you, I mean, because obviously, you know, the director of crop steering, true, we'll call it university educated background in cultivation. I think it matters. I think it truly does. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm in debt from college. I think that matters, but I think my education is different. because of the money that and the time that we put into that shit.
Absolutely.
The the mindset of someone who's in cultivation, someone who's in the crop steering part of it. What was your thinking when it comes to you initially connecting with Damian and King Solomon Nutrients? The ultimate question is why do you use it, right? Like, and I know that he's here right now, so please try to remain as unbiased as possible. But when you were first testing things out and doing your research, what were you looking for? Why did you end up going this? What makes it, why you're happy with your end result, so to speak?
Well, initially, I've connected with Damian on LinkedIn probably, I want to say about 5 years ago. I connected with him and I always followed all of his posts. I always was interested in what he was bringing to the market, seeing good results at large size facilities. And, I'm working at a cultivation using other nutrients, and I'm like, this looks this looks intriguing. Like, I need to try it. So, initiated with him sending out samples to our facility that I'm currently working at, and running them in multiple rooms, multiple runs, and just directly seeing the increases in cannabinoids, the healthier plants that I'm seeing in these rooms. And by far the easiest to mix, as far as, having equal ratios of part A, part B in both veg and bloom, and the solubility of these nutrients at a good cost. And ultimately, at the largest facility in Arizona indoor, cost is extremely important. So right off the bat, cost has got to meet there. Damian provides good quality costs. As far as the results, the past 2 test trials that we've done, directly increased in cannabinoids, terpenes, better plant production, better yields than 2 other nutrient brands that we are still, using at the facility. And then we also have 2 additional rooms currently that are using as fertilizer at my work that he'll be able to see on Wednesday when he comes down. And, it's all about, just bringing the results and the data to the owners and saying, hey, this is what we got with this. We should make a transition. And that's my high hopes. But yeah, just good product, good cost, easiest to use, and consistent results, honestly. Just back-to-back banging results. Just
I had to get the cosign in there for you, Damian, man. It's important, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
Shout out King Solomon Nutrients, the king of newts, the king of the feed. Get the regimen down, use the data, improve your systems, optimize your plans, your strategies. Shit, just start you from the bottom, growing at home. Help you just start.
That's it. That's
this
what
guy.
it's about.
Like, out of everybody that I've ever come across in Canada, I've met a bunch. Again, not as many as Damian, but a bunch of growers in my 7 years in this space, a bunch of tours, and I have yet to find somebody as knowledgeable and passionate about it. And I also would want to say this. I'm going to take it a step further. This is the funny part. Those people are not also associated with numerous other people that all grow fire. Maybe they do, or maybe like their homie does or something. But what brought us to Damian was on LinkedIn. I start adding people, seeing this, engaging. I'm like putting effort in, and then I just keep seeing, damn, this brand's my client. Damn, this brand's my client. Damn, this brand's my client. And back then, and this might still be true, but it was like, I want to say it was like Wonder Bread, Bakery, Glass House, and just like certain things. And it's like, okay, well, those aren't the same styles of grows. And that was like what you were saying earlier. I keep seeing him pop up on my feed in this epic situation over here, and then this epic thing over here, and then this one way over here, and then he'd go across the country somewhere and go do some shit somewhere else. And I'm just like, hold up. I got to figure this out. And so just wanted to do a big shout out to you, Damon, for creating and crafting and being as passionate as you are. Keegan, I really enjoyed chatting with you here today and getting to learn a little bit about you and your background. It seems to me that we're going to be able to nerd out a little bit when I'm there in AZ in a couple of days. So I'm excited. Damian, what strains are we smoking on while we're there, bro?
I'm hoping to get some good local tent grown stuff. My nephew who works with Arise, also in Phoenix, he's kind of helping me a little bit. on the King Solomon side of stuff, but he and his group of homegrown tent growers really do grow some great tent fire. I mean, it's really good weed. Doesn't matter if it came from a tent; it's just great weed. And they do a lot of rosin pressing as well. So
Oh wow, okay.
donut holes are the big thing right now. So that's always a nice, tasty treat. So we'll see if we could pull out some big doinks pretty soon.
Hit us with the donut holes. Let's
Donuts,
go.
the
Let's
noodle
go.
donuts.
Noodle Tech, Noodle Tech. All right, you guys, we got the Scottsdale Buyers. I'm sorry, we're going to take a step. We got MITA on Wednesday in Scottsdale. We have Scottsdale Buyers Club. It's a mouthful. The next day on Thursday. And then Friday night, we've got the Drops Industry Party. That's another thing out there at AZ. So make sure y'all tap in. Anybody watching this, I appreciate you guys. We got a bunch of great sponsors and partners for the Scottsdale Buyers Club. Orange Photonics hosting us at this mansion alongside Quick Liquids, Venom Extracts, Dizpot, Sip Elixirs, Presidential, Happy Cabbage Analytics, Smokies Edibles, those gummies. We got TKC Genetics, Ricky Williams Heisman brand, King Solomon, let's go. We got Blaze, POS and data. We got M Fuse that rep in Washington and AZ. And then we got also, last but not least, RMR times Chelsea Mulligan, the Dispensary Whisperer. We're putting together, we've got a bunch of really solid commitments for people coming. It is a buyers club, so we got the homies and we got some buyers, got some retail people, so make sure you all tap in. Damian, Keegan, thank you guys for being my guest today. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with reading some of these stories that I've got to cover. I will see y'all in a couple days.
Right on. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys down the road. All right?
Awesome.
All right.
Peace.
Peace. All right, you guys. That was Keegan, Leary, and Damian Solomon repping True Infusion and Nature's Wonder and King Solomon Nutrients. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with us today. This was episode 71 of the Morning Dread Podcast. I'm your host, Joey JayPing. We're going to run through just some quick topics. You guys can go read this on our website. We have a wonderful feature on Clade 9. We interviewed the CEO, Dave Holmes, the founder. We added over $300,000 in revenue per month to a cannabis client. That's not accurate. It was 175,000 to 440,000. So really close to 300,000. HypeHerbally in Everett now carries the Respect My Region Legacy Smalls. Go cop the RMR Legacy Smalls at HypeHerbally in Everett. We have a new intern on the squad named Noah. Noah went to a festival in the United Kingdom called Wireless Music Festival. He did a recap of day 2. I guess it was pouring rain, but it was awesome. King Von posthumously dropped a new album, Grandson. My favorite song on it, From the Hood. Although I'm not from the hood, I definitely have a lot of friends and know people that came up in situations or environments like that. So I can't relate, but I feel for their struggles, and it always helps to bring a better understanding and bring clarity to what reality is like for other people. And we also did another Hot Music Friday list on Friday. Obviously, tap in because there's some fire music. I'm going to go ahead and just let you know who we got on it real quick. Boz and J. Cole dropped some new heat. That King Von and Lil Durk dropped that from the Hood. Denzel Curry dropped Blood on My Nikes. Fat Tony and Tay-Dex dropped Make a Baby. Genesis Owusu dropped Tied Up. Piece of Shit was dropped by Bizarre. Wow, that's an odd one that I wasn't expecting to see. Claude dropped Supermodels. Black Milk dropped Everybody Good. And a lot of other great music as well was released. Last but certainly not least, we've got The Bear Season 2 that is currently going on. We did a review on that as well. Shout out to Nolan Kelly, our film, media, and TV analyst, contributor. Appreciate you for covering The Bear 2. Definitely worth checking out. Different than Season 1. hit the ground running, kept it really going. It's something that, if you like the bear one, maybe you'll like the bear too. This was episode 71, you guys, of the Morning Journal Podcast. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We will see you next Monday. Tap in, like, follow, subscribe, talk some shit, do what you got to do. But no matter what, we'll be back next week.